At dawn, Greg inspects the fishing nets as a grizzly bear wanders nearby. Greg tracks through dense forests, shouldering heavy packs and building complex wooden shelters. Fire sparks to life. Greg secures a grouse and sets traps, proving his survival skills in the wild. Rain falls on Telegraph Cove. Greg outlines the mission to Night Inlet, seeking elusive coastal giants. The route is charted from Telegraph Cove to Night Inlet. Massive grizzlies await the salmon run. Morning mist lingers. Greg stands by the harbor, coffee. The Silver Bear yacht waits. Adventure begins now. The Grizzly Girl docks at the pier. Tourists in red jackets board with cameras, eager for the journey ahead. Dall's porpoises dart through bow waves, their fins breaking the surface. Passengers excitedly debate their species. Porpoises approach, white stripes on bellies clear. Greg humbly admits he is no biologist, just an observer. Greg scans the deck. He asks if any marine biologists are aboard. That moment. I was a Marine entering the inlet. The boat slows in shallow waters. A brown bear forages on the mudflat framed by dense coniferous forest. A giant wades. An adult bear steps through shallow water. Turning to the lens nearby, two others interact by a fallen log. Steady steps on mud. The bear wades into deep water, abdomen submerged, hunting aquatic prey. The bear climbs onto the rocky shore and shakes off water. Others linger in the misty background. Predatory focus. The bear charges through the shallow, splashing water. Its gaze locks on prey, showing intense hunter concentration. Sea lions turn the sunlit waters, creating white caps. Their deep resonant roars from a wild symphony. Greg sits in a sunlit clearing, introducing Curiosity Stream as a vital hub for learners. The standard plan costs just $19.99 a year. Greg signals it is a great deal and invites viewers to subscribe. Back in the dense woodland, Greg emphasizes that Curiosistrium adds new shows every week. He offers final thanks to the sponsor, wrapping up the segment before returning to the wild. Greg stands by the dock at Lagoon Cove, a tranquil bay under an overcast sky. Exploring the settlement, the camera pans across wood and cabins in a marina. Greg notes the sparse population of this remote island. Fantastic area. A map marks Quasino First Nation on Vancouver Island's north tip by the harbor. Greg outlines the next expedition phase with Joe. The boat speeds away from the marina, churning white foam inside. Greg talks with the crew, eyes bright with anticipation for the fishing charter ahead. The ocean awaits. Breathtaking aerial shots capture the serene morning sea, mirroring the distant mountains and lush forests. The boat cuts through the glass like water, heading toward the promising fishing grounds. Greg introduces Steve, the captain handling the downriggers. Steve smiles at the camera, ready to lead the way. Greg lists his targets: halibut, salmon, and Lincoln. He specifically wants to smoke a salmon, setting clear stakes for the fishing battle ahead. Greg admits his inexperience in saltwater fishing, contrasting it with Steve's 22 years of mastery. This exchange builds trust and professional reliance on the open sea. Steve confirms the hooks are barbless, strictly adhering to a local conservation law, a vital rule for protecting fish stocks. Oh, it got one on. You're beating me. Holy, this isn't fair. Okay. The fish breaks free from the hook, despite his disappointment. Greg recovers and sees this escape as a positive omen for the day. With Steve's help, a partner hauls a silver salmon aboard. The perfect coho is celebrated, boosting morale on board. It's lifted 14 pounds. Yeah, I do that. Here's my first salmon of the trip. Thank Greg likens angling to a treasure hunt, finding thrill in the weight. Steve bends the rod hard. A strong pull brings the silver salmon to the surface. Steve nets the fish. Greg jokes that it is smaller than Joe's catch, teasing his friend. The assurance. Oh, that was quick. Quick. As Steve carefully removes the hook, Greg confirms the fish meets size limits. They are allowed to keep 2 wild and 1 hatchery catch. Greg decides to keep it. He jokes that Joe's skill with bigger fish doesn't stop him from eating this one. It will be delicious. Greg holds the salmon by its gills, admiring its metallic sheen. He calls it a beauty, conceding it lacks Joe's size, but praising its quality. Joe praises Greg's catch. Greg proudly claims full credit for the effort. Their banter reflects mutual respect and shared joy on the water. Greg summarizes the day, noting 1 lost fish but overall success. With the salmon, quote, a mat, they now target elusive halibut, hoping for better luck. A massive strike, Greg grips the rod tightly, feeling an immense pull from the depths. The sheer power suggests it might be a colossal Chinook salmon. The rod bends into a sharp arc as the fish erupts from the water. Joe watches in awe, marveling at the creature's explosive vitality and strength. Ooh, he's fighting a lot of life left him. Holy moly. Here we go. Pull closer, the fish thrashes wildly. Joe marvels at its raw vitality as it fights on the surface. Steve nets the fish with a precise scoop. He cheers, lifting the net high while Greg relaxes, finally putting down his rod. Gotta do some, man. Holy cow here. Did you just fighting with them? That's what makes. Red shakes Steve's hand, thanking him for the crucial help in landing the big fish. Greg drops the salmon. It hits the deck. He smiles awkwardly at the camera. Woofer. So we probably should just go for bottom. Sounds great. Yeah, let's go try it out, when we can. Ripping the heavy golden rod with both hands, Greg strains against an unseen leviathan, his face flushed with exertion as the reel refuses to yield. Overcome by exhaustion, Greg yields the rod to his partner, acknowledging that this deep-sea battle demands shared strength. Joe takes the rod, leaning back hard. He struggles against a weight like dragging plywood from the sea. He jokes, quoting jazz, "We need a bigger boat," as the classic scene flashes by. Steve helps Greg strap on a white plastic harness to support the heavy rod with his waist. Strapped in, he reels with all his might, body swaying to the rod's rhythm while Steve stands ready to keep him steady. Greg gasps for air as Joe stares at the churning water, calling the unseen force a true beast. Right. Nice. Nice. With a final heave, the captain drags the huge halibut onto the deck. The angler drops his rod, breathless, beside the huge prize. The captain praises it while the battered fisherman leans against the cabin, unfastening his harness with weary satisfaction. At the stern, the angler admits that landing such a beast alone is impossible, crediting their success to seamless teamwork. As the relentless pull demands constant jigging, Greg guesses 30 pounds, a figure Steve confidently confirms as accurate. Mark makes a dream work. It's a nice one. Yeah. Here, all I'm happy, and I'm gonna eat. Leaning against the cabin door, Greg praises Steve, who remarks on the astonishing pulling power of such a massive fish. Glad in camouflage, another angler grips his rod with intensity, grinning confidently as he hooks yet another catch, eagerly anticipating. A silver salmon. I'll be a first one. Hoisting the massive catch by its jaw, he reveals a terrifying maw lined with dense, razor-sharp teeth, showcasing the formidable anatomy of the giant Lincoln. The guide points out a massive natural arch carved into the sheer rock face along the dense and rugged coastline there. Greg beams at the camera, declaring it an awesome day in the calm harbor. Greg displays the day's impressive catch with pride. He points out the biggest salmon and a nice Lingcod too. Slapping the giant halibut Greg boasted as his biggest catch, plus a decent salmon. So we're pretty up today. Oh, it's an awesome fishing day, and we lost some too, some goggles, a thumbs up, loving the sea, as Joe teases him about his first halibut. Feigning annoyance at the teasing, he breaks into laughter and admits it was his first halibut. As Joe asks for the weight, Greg estimates 35 to 40 pounds, sparking shared excitement. Joe admires the monster halibut. Proud Greg pulled it from the deep. Joe offers a slimy high five, and Greg happily slaps it with a laugh. The red yacht leaves the dock, tracing a graceful arc toward the forested shore. Greg fiddles with a manual winch, asking his guide to show him how it works. Joking about the washdown, Greg sniffs his hands while the guide promises a hose. We got was down. That down taste hit awful. Greg handles the winch like a pro, impressing Joe with his expert skill. Joe jokes about deadliest catch as Greg hauls the barnacle-covered trap to the surface. Greg spots a small rock crab, prompting his companion to lean in for a closer look. He checks the crab, sees it as a legal male, and keeps it. Awed by the massive rock crab, Joe suggests keeping it as Greg starts untying the trap. The crab snaps its claw, pinching his hand. He yelps in pain, then jokes that the creature must have had prior combat training. He's trying to get me. Following Steve's advice, Greg undoes the trap's base ropes, letting the crab drop onto the deck. Standing on the deck, the angler looks down at the crab, offering an approving smile at its intelligence and resilience. Transitioning to the electric winch mounted on the gunnel, the angler carefully wraps the heavy rope around the motorized drum, preparing to mechanize the extraction of the next submerged trap. The thick marine slime on the rope causes the windstrom to slip, forcing him to manually apply pressure for friction with a look of pure exasperation. With the rope correctly routed, he restarts the winch. The line now tracks smoothly across the drum, and he nods in satisfaction. With the electric winch operating smoothly, the heavy trap is rapidly hoisted from the depths, making the task far easier than the back-breaking work of pulling it by hand. The trap rises from deep blue waters, heavily draped in thick brown seaweed. Greg reaches out to steady the swaying mass as it bumps against the hull. Here's something. Now they eat one of them. They're so hungry in there. They ate one. They're so hungry that big one there. He discovers a male crab inside, but the trap reeks of decay from a dead one, making him grimace in disgust. The vessel speeds across the sea, engines roaring as it cuts through waves with stern equipment and winch ready for deployment. Packing crabs into a white bag, the angler dons a camouflage jacket and shoulders his backpack, stepping onto the wooden dock. On the dock, Greg pauses to look back when his friend quotes Arnie's famous line. He drops his bag and crouches down, humorously reenacting the iconic movie scene. Choppa eye. Is it the job?